The Green Bay Packers are taking on the LA Chargers this week in a game that I will be at making videos for, showing off some highlights, and hopefully a game where we can have some positivity. Hopefully a game where we can maybe get a win before the Thursday potential beatdown that is against the Detroit Lions. It should be an interesting game this week, but the Chargers are coming in hot. They did lose to Detroit last week, but man, were they on fire all game. Keenan Allen was torching the Detroit Lions all day long, and may well do the same thing this week, along with Austin Eckler and Justin Herbert. Boy, it is going to be a tough matchup this week, but let's get into it. The Green Bay Packers coming off that terrible loss last week against the Steelers. Man, there were many times opportunities for them to win that game outright, and they didn't. They were screwed on a couple of plays, of course. That obvious lateral pass that should have been a fumble. Packers ball at the Steelers 8, and then they probably scored a touchdown there. Of course, it didn't happen that way because the NFL stepped in and said nope, and came up with some asinine reasoning for why it wasn't a lateral, even though clearly it was a lateral. But let's get past that because ultimately they lost the game. They had several chances, they had several deep drives, but they ended up settling for field goals. Their defense played pretty well and kept them in that game, and that's been the theme the past couple weeks. The defense has kept the Packers in the game. Their offense has just failed or been inconsistent, unreliable to score on a consistent basis, and that's why they have not won more games. Jordan Love has made some good throws over the past couple weeks, but to be fair, you can't blame it completely on him. There's several times where Watson dropped the ball. Last week, Romeo Doubs or went the wrong way and missed a wide open ball, and several other opportunities where other players drop balls, and you can't do that. You can't drop balls constantly in this league. If you want to survive in this league as a receiver, tight end, even a pass receiving running back, you need to catch the ball. Not expected to be 100%, but some of the ones that we've seen over the past couple weeks, hands of stone on a lot of these players, and it's a bit frustrating because Jordan Love is trying to get better. These are the kind of passes that if they go down, the trajectory goes up, but then you still have his naysayers. And yes, there should be a lot of naysayers on Jordan Love. I'm still not convinced that he's the best quarterback going forward, but we're just going to have to make do, and hopefully he progresses and gets better. Still a long way until next year's draft, so make the best of it. He's not getting changed out for Sean Clifford. It's not happening. And if you think that, please go get checked out because it's not happening. If Sean Clifford was going to pass over Jordan Love, we would have heard something about it. Would have heard about Sean Clifford in practice or something like that. Obviously, we haven't. They obviously think he is not ready to take over for Jordan Love, or even should be over Jordan Love. So just get that out of your mind. Jordan Love is the Packers quarterback for the rest of the year, barring injury, of course. Which let's hope that doesn't happen. But he's still indecisive. It's still indecisive, and they're gonna have to be somewhat decisive this week. The Chargers' defense isn't the greatest. Their secondary is it kind of goes back and forth, but they have a pretty decent pass rush. They've had several games this year where they've had multiple sacks, and with Khalil Mack playing, he may be able to disrupt the Packers again when he did a couple times for the Bears. So watch out. The offensive line is going to have to play strong throughout the game. Again, continue to limit the procedural penalties, the ineligible man downfields, the offsides, the holding, of course, is always a big issue. I mean, seriously, the holding penalty just stalls drives. I mean, to be honest, maybe it should be a lower degree of penalty. I mean, it's just a holding penalty on the first down moves it to 1st and 20 every time. And there's a huge psychological impact, it seems, especially on the Packers. When they get down by 20 yards, it gets 10 times harder to try and make that first down. You have to cut down on those. Now to the running game, A.J. Dillon again has been pretty solid past couple weeks. Aaron Jones has been as well. No fumbles last week. still, Aaron Jones dropped a couple balls last week that were crucial, especially at the end of the game. That throw to Aaron Jones that in my previous video I blamed on Jordan Love, but to be honest, after hearing some of the post-game comments from Matt LaFleur, it was designed for Aaron Jones to catch the ball and run the way he did, but it just didn't work out and it wasted a lot of time. Gotta perform better this week for sure. Wide receivers, again, Christian Watson is always so-so. He doesn't go up and contest throws. He doesn't try and force a defensive pass interference, which you can, or it's a skill that some wide receivers just have. They can feign injury, feign getting touched, and not to say that all of those actual defensive pass interference plays are feigning, but let's be honest, it does happen a fair bit where wide receivers are just able to act their way to a defensive pass interference, and also it's just the refs are just terrible. Gonna have to do better than that. Catch the ball. Hands of Stone is not a good nickname for Christian Watson. Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks as well. They're young guys. It'd be nice if we had a veteran presence. That would certainly help a lot. These guys have played 10 games now. They need to play better. Actually, it's been 9 games, not 10, 9 games. They're no longer rookies anymore. The rookie wide receivers are no longer rookies. They need to play better, and they have not done so. The defense, like I said, has been great the past couple of weeks. They've held the Steelers to field goals. Sure, they gave up a couple touchdowns early on, but let's be honest, there was the kick out of bounds that didn't help a lot, and just the opening drive set the tone for the rest of the game. But after those first 2 touchdowns by the Steelers, the yards were harder to come by, and they were able to get in there. They were able to get at Kenny Pickett, but still had it all day. And also, Najee Harris was able to run. Jaylen Warren as well. Jaylen Warren had a great game as well. And you got to be able to stop the run in this game, especially with Austin Eckler coming into the game. To be honest, a lot of the stuff last week that Steelers, where they didn't score, had a lot to do with their play calling because Matt Canada is terrible, and he just whatever he doesn't know how to just finish the game out at the end of the game. They did win, but it was on a pass interception at the end of the game. They could have ended it without the Packers ever getting the ball if they just keep giving it to a combination of Harris and Warren. Then they started throwing the ball, and it doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense why the Steelers all of a sudden decided to throw towards the end of the game when they on their final drive where they're driving and running, or with no way the Packers were able to stop them. Packers never should have had a chance to have the ball again last week, but Matt Canada found a way for that to happen. And with Austin Eckler coming into this game, boy, be prepared, Packers defensive line. Gonna have to get to Justin Herbert because it amazes me. The Packers defensive line does have a reputation for being able to get to the quarterback. But also at times it's just like, how do you not get to the quarterback, or you just miss? There was that run by Kenny Pickett last week where a couple missed tackles and he was able to get a first down. It's just like, oh, it was such a killer that they just missed by a hair, and gotta finish off the sack. You get through the offensive line, rush, and sack the quarterback. I know it's easier said than done, but if you're gonna be successful this week against a very hot Los Angeles Chargers offense, you're going to have to get to the quarterback, because they were on fire last week, and the Lions do have a reputation for having a good defense, and if the Packers aren't up to snuff, it could be a long day on Sunday, and one that I do not look forward to. But those are your keys to the game. I mean, are the Packers going to win? Probably not, but I'm a Packer fan, so you just gotta root for them. Gotta root for progress. Don't be a loser and hope that they tank. That's That's what bad franchises do. Bad franchises teach their teams to play poorly and go for next year. It's like it's not a winning strategy. You'll build confidence far more by playing for the win and getting the loss than just straight out losing. Because you're never going to tell players they're playing for their paychecks, paying to feed their families and stuff, to just willingly lay down. Because to be honest, when it comes to telling players to lay down, that could also mean they're being replaced down the line, and players cannot afford to do that. So no tanking for the Packers. I don't think the Packers even know how to tank, even if you ask them to. They're going to play for the win, and sure, it'd be nice to get a higher draft pick and just play for progress this year. That's all we're asking for is from the Packers, man. I didn't expect them to do overly well. I mean, I did or pick them to possibly make the playoffs because of the conference that they're in. The NFC is just not good, but it's just probably not going to happen. Just I hope they win. I think the final score will be LA 28, Packers 21, something like that. Should be a good game, but Packers are going to have to be prepared. Jordan Love is going to have to be prepared and be more decisive because that's really hurt them past couple weeks. Stop throwing into double coverage and just be prepared for a great pass rush and a fantastic offense at times, at least. Brandon Staley kind of slows them down at times, but let me know what you think. Give the video a thumbs up if you like the video. Comment on all of that. Subscribe. Have a great day. God bless, and go Pack Go.